In my previous video, we discussed Japan's Type 16 Maneuver Combat Vehicle and its purpose for the JGSDF Rapid Deployment Force. This unit is meant to be deployed quickly to defend Japanese islands and repulse or delay the enemy's invasion until reinforcement arrive. Similar to what the Japanese have, the Indonesian Armed Forces also have similar units. And in today's video, we're gonna discuss about Indonesia's KRF Force, its function, its element, and everything in between. Stay tuned. The Indonesian Quick Reaction Force is called Pasukan Pemukul Reaksi Cepat or PPRC. PPRC is a Joint Task Force Command of the Indonesian Armed Forces, which was formed specifically with the main task of carrying out swift action in dealing with real threats in certain areas in order to deter, refute, and destroy enemies that disrupt the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Indonesia. PPRC must be able to project its strength throughout the territory of Indonesia to carry out operations, both independently and in support of operations carried out by other operation command. In detail, PPRC has four main tasks. First, to precede the action of the enemy who will occupy certain land areas in order to maintain the integrity of the Indonesian territory. Second, carry out the initial attack in order to reclaim some of the land areas that have been occupied by the enemy. Third, detain and disorganize the enemy in certain land areas in the context of national defense. And fourth, give space and time to the higher command or operation command who are assisted to take decisive action. Their missions include countering separatist movements, armed rebellion, terrorism, border violation, threats to the strategic vital objects, piracy, and smuggling. This unit was formed in 1985 and consists of elements from the Indonesian Army, Indonesian Air Force, and the Indonesian Navy. Within 24 hours after receiving order from the Armed Forces Commander, PPRC must be in the area that requires quick reaction security. However, the duration of their deployment is restricted to just only 7 days. Because the main purpose of the unit is to defend Indonesia's land territory, PPRC is led by the Army, more specifically the Army Strategic Command or Kostrad. Meanwhile, the Air Force and the Navy act as supporting elements. High-ranking officers from the Air Force and the Navy also act as deputy commanders of the unit. We discussed before about Kostrad and Koarmada and how they divide their strength into 3 areas of responsibility: West, Central, and East. This grouping will help us understand how PPRC works. Periodically, the standby status of PPRC force is rotated between the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd AOR, and this status is valid for 2 years. So every 2 years, PPRC elements are rotated either from the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Kostrad Infantry Division for the Army, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Air Operation Commands for the Air Force, and 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Fleet Command for the Navy. Here's an example. Last February, the command and control of PPRC for the period of 2023 until 2025 were handed over from the 1st to the 2nd Kostrad Infantry Division. And along with it, the PPRC elements of the Air Force and the Navy also changed. From the 1st Air Operation Command to the 2nd for the Air Force, and from the 1st Fleet Command to the 2nd for the Navy. After that, every branch must prepare which unit will carry out the duties as part of the PPRC elements during this period. The elements of the Army are called Satuan Tugas Darat or Land Task Force and consists of an Airborne Rider Infantry Brigade along with its supporting units. For example, in the last period, the Land Task Force of PPRC consists of the 17th Airborne Rider Infantry Brigade, 1st Medical Battalion, and the 1st Supply and Transportation Battalion from the 1st Kostrad Infantry Division, and 1 flight from the Army Aviation Center. The Air Task Force of the Air Force is called Satuan Pelaksana Operasi Udara or Air Operation Unit, consists of fighters and airlift squadrons, air crew company, ground crew company, base defense company, and Kopasgat company. Meanwhile, the Sea Task Force of the Navy consists of the Naval Combat Task Force and the Naval Security Task Force, including their combatant, amphibious, and support vessels, Marine Battalion, also aircraft from the Navy Aviation Center. The number of soldiers involved from all branches are approximately 6,000 people. In my research, I couldn't find valid evidence mentioning special forces in PPRC, but looking at their qualifications, I bet special forces from each branch are also included. Although so far most of PPRC deployments are to counter rebel and terrorist groups in several hotspots in Indonesia, and there's still no real threat of invasion from peer adversaries, I see a few things that could improve the operation and lethality of PPRC. Because above all, PPRC is essential to deter any threats to Indonesia's sovereignty. Just like JGSDF Rapid Deployment Forces, deterring possible Chinese invasion to Japan's southern island chain. In the coming years, the Indonesian Armed Forces will get several types of modern equipment from aircraft, armored vehicles, and warship. Although the number is relatively small, from what I see, this equipment can expand PPRC combat capability. Aerial transport is the key element of Quick Reaction Force, and just recently, the Air Force got their first Super Hercules and is waiting for 4 more, and they are also waiting for a much bigger A400M. With these 2 aircraft, more troops and equipment can be moved to the area of operation in one go, increasing operation efficiency and reducing deployment time. Moreover, the A400M threat as a strategic airlift aircraft means PPRC could also bring heavier equipment or vehicles in their deployment. Due to their nature, airborne troops cannot bring heavy equipment when they jump. Against advancing enemies with tactical or armored vehicles carrying high-caliber weapons, they will be in a disadvantageous situation. They might be equipped with anti-armor weapons, but it can only do so much. With the A400M, Indonesia can take notes on what the Japanese do with their Rapid Deployment Force and their MCVs. Similar to the MCV, we can use Pandur II with 105mm cannon as a fire support vehicle, protecting the infantry against possible enemy's armor. If they need heavier armor, Harimau MT can be a good addition to their strength too. Or, we can substitute this role with a more affordable option like the Badak FSV. Whatever it is, I think it's necessary to add extra firepower to the PPRC force. In this video, I mentioned Indonesia's military units, Kostrad and Koarmada, which can make you a little bit overwhelmed. I made videos explaining what it is and their roles before. So if you miss it or are new to the channel, you can watch it in my military organization playlist right here. And that's it for today. PPRC, the Indonesian Armed Forces Quick Reaction Force. Do you have similar forces in your country? Share with us in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.